September 2001. The Afghan resistance leader Ahmad Shah Massoud was assassinated, and his right-hand man, Dr. Abdullah, knew the killer's motives.
Al-Qaeda was calculating that with getting rid of Commander Massoud, Afghanistan would fail. Afghanistan, the resistance would collapse. And then Afghanistan will be in its totality under Al-Qaeda. Afghanistan would have been 100 times worse than Iraq. 100 times worse than Iraq, had it not been for that foundation.
To give time to regroup and try to plan ahead, Massoud's loyalists first tried to keep their leader's death a secret.
There were suggestions that we should keep the news of Amir Sahib's death secret for another month in order to maintain the morale and in order to be able to defend. My point was that no, we should start giving this news to different people at different circles and different levels, slowly, so the people will be able to absorb it.
2 days later, 9/11 would change much and offer opportunity.
Soon after the second plane, I realized that Al-Qaeda might be the suspect. Based on that, the United States will react. As long as there is this suspicion, there is this feeling or belief that Al-Qaeda is behind that, Taliban will be under sort of psychological pressure. We should try to stand up, because I knew that without Commander Massoud it was difficult to sustain the resistance.
His method: make use of the world news media that was quickly gathering in his territory, the north of Afghanistan. In days, he launched a global media campaign, from New York to Sydney, from London to Tokyo. With charm, intelligence, and conviction, he became a constant presence on television screens around the world. He became the face of allies for the West in Afghanistan.
After September 11th, any reaction by the United States would have been in Afghanistan. A vast country with rugged terrain and without any friendly force on the ground. The people were against Al-Qaeda and Taliban, but they were hostages to Taliban and Al-Qaeda. So we used to say that this is not just our enemy, it is humanity's enemy, but nobody would believe it. But now you have the proof.
His plan worked. The most influential members of his television audience included officials of the CIA. For the first time, they truly listened and took note. Within days of 9/11, a small group of CIA personnel, led by an operative named Gary, arrived in Afghanistan and set up headquarters in the Panjshir Valley. But they had plans of their own.
Yes, now we have come to work together with Afghans against the common enemy, and Gary mentioned about old times and the fact that Afghanistan was left behind and there was disengagement from Afghanistan, which might have led to what happened afterwards. But this is a new partnership, new friendship, and a lasting friendship, and we will be together in this, and so on and so forth. And perhaps those mistakes of the past would be addressed one day, but this is the time to focus on what we have against our enemy. Perhaps there was a thinking there that they will have to fight it throughout Afghanistan. Perhaps district to district or province to province. What I wanted to stress was that the people of Afghanistan are against Taliban. If they see a light at the end of the tunnel, they will help.
Shortly after the CIA's arrival, the American air war began in October 2001. A small unit of Special Operations troops would join the CIA.
I don't think that they knew or they had a sense that Taliban would be defeated that quickly. So we had to talk about it. And we had these debates and discussions with those of special forces which were here and those of agency. They were getting their orders from Washington or wherever their main basis was. So they have to pass those messages in the way that they were allowed to, because the broader strategy was worked out there.
I got the square building, the rectangle building to the northwest.
One of the areas which our intelligence worked with them was on the targets.
Good hit, Chip 3-1. Now if you go directly west, about approximately 100 meters, you'll see a single hot spot there. That's the cave or tunnel entrance.
Wow, come down just far.
Yeah, direct hits right there.
I don't think, as far as human intelligence is concerned, they had any other reliable partner.
But the promises made by the CIA were not always kept.
At the beginning, their promises of support were much broader than what one would see later on.
And leaders of the agents and their military counterparts often did not seem ready for what unfolded.
They were mainly facilitating for the air support and supporting financially, supporting with the intelligence. There was the issue of coordination, which I think they were struggling to get it. That was evident in some cases. I don't think that they had the ability to anticipate what was happening. Events would move much quicker than they had anticipated, because their standards would be different. Their circumstances which they were used to would be different.
And the troubles had just begun, both great and small. The biggest problem, however, was a breakdown in communication. The unannounced arrival of British troops at Bagram Air Base, then the headquarters for Abdullah's group, nearly caused the entire operation against the Taliban to fall apart, even before it began.
To the other leaders of the North, it appeared as if there was a secret deal between us and the Brits to bring their forces without letting them know, which was very wrong. We needed to maintain credibility in order to maintain support from the people. Who could have anticipated the consequences of such a clash?
He had to go to the very top of the British government, speaking at length with British Foreign Minister Jack Straw.
According to him, he said it was a mistake by our defense ministry. That's what he told me. Yeah, and it was a big mistake. And I made it clear to him that what I'm saying is not that you shouldn't have sent these troops. I'm saying that when you do that, when you wanted to do that, you should have let us know. 2 plane load of them had landed. Other 3 were ordered to go back. They were in the sky for a while, but it was around 4 o'clock in the morning here in Kabul that we agreed. So I had a struggle with our own people because of what had happened. This very big inconvenience, more than inconvenience, or embarrassing, that had caused. And everybody would suspect me, perhaps, that I knew about it and I wanted to, which wasn't the case.
He still wonders if the right lessons have been learned.
How many of our foreign friends here, based here, know the real situation in Afghanistan? Yes? Still the gap.
The man tipped to be a future president of his country worries about how things have gone wrong since the Taliban were first defeated. He speaks of corruption, inefficiency, and a growing gap between the new Afghan government and the people. And he fears for the future.